I want to welcome everybody to Tribal Country. This is Z Energy God, and we have.
I gotta be already clocked in.
How's it going, Goddess?
Peace. How you feeling? Sorry, I
I'm
just
doing
got.
all. I'm doing all right. Just kind of elaborate on these different energies that's taking place. Far as like Earth wise, and it's a major upgrades that are coming in, and a lot of weather is just tearing up a lot of stuff from around the world and stuff. You know what I mean? As far as like the energy around the world, and a lot of people just not used to seeing this type of energy right now.
Yeah, I mean, I I guess I'm a little crude about it, but that's what we asked for. We was out in the West Coast and we said, oh yeah, it's a desert out there. We need some water. Well, you got the water. Oya delivered. Oya, when you channel like a deity to come do stuff for you, they're not going to do it in human form. They're not going to come with like a fire truck and you know they're gonna come with some tsunamis. They're gonna come with some storms and stuff because it's a bigger energy that you're dealing with. So you gotta be careful, when you ask for something.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, this mic keep going in and out. Yeah, go ahead. Your mic. It was I just. Yeah, you good.
I'm good. Yeah, just being mindful of like when you ask for stuff. Like, you ask for water, are you prepared for the water? And some
Mm-hmm.
people weren't because some people are still not in divine alignment with nature and the forces of nature. We want to humanize everything and personify everything and make it, it's gonna come like a, what if we just need a little rain? No, it's not gonna come in a little rain, y'all.
Yeah.
It's gonna come in a storm because
Yeah.
it's gonna give all of y'all what y'all need, just not just a couple of y'all. That's not how it works.
Yeah. That's called the Easter, but it's really like the ether energy. The
Right.
ether energy. Yeah. Easter is more like the ether energy of the the nova, the solars from the sun. So when this energy get adjusted, that's what makes people so like feeling the kind of their body feeling like off and on. You can feel like aches and pains in your body and stuff like that, these headaches and stuff. That's
Mhm.
part of the ascension upgrades that taking place right now. So that's what's going on with that part right there, as far as like the different energies that's coming in. So I do a lot of pre book work and trying to you know understand a lot of things on how the energy work and how fluctuation is timeline is, you know what I mean, because all both of these timelines gonna merge together in the next couple of years. So that's what's pushing, which is the Kachina, which is the blue, the blue solar mass that's coming in. I got it. Go ahead.
Oh, I ain't say nothing. The we in the shadow of the Mercury retrograde, y'all. So,
Mhm.
I'm a Virgo stellium. I got a good 7, 8 placements of Mercury energy, whether it's Virgo or Gemini in my chart. So, excuse me on my end because when the Mercury retrograde comes around me, my technology start being funny or whatever. It doesn't bother me anymore. It used to drive me nuts. It's a lot, just learn how to move in alignment. Like I know what this is. It is what it is.
Hmm. A lot of these
But yeah,
mhm. Go ahead.
what you about to say?
I was just saying a lot of the prophecies prediction was called the Hopi prophecy. Have you heard about that one?
No, I
Oh,
always
okay,
learn stuff
okay.
here.
Okay. Hopi prophecy is like where the retro and all that come together as one, and that's what this energy is coming from. So it's a lot of turnaround with the energy as far as like the ley lines and the planet and the alignments lining up and stuff like that. As far as like the
Mm.
Saturn and Venus and all that coming in, is everything is lining up for this big 2025 mass solar
Ooh, yeah,
events.
2024
It's
is going to
event.
be a big year. We have a lot of major planetary shifts happening in 2024, definitely. Like, Pluto will finally be like really like sitting in Aquarius energy because right now it's just passing through. Pluto goes in retrograde for like 6 months. So like
Mm-hmm.
what, like maybe June, July will be back in Capricorn up until like October. Then that's like the
Mm-hmm.
election year. I keep forgetting what it's called because I don't
Yeah.
be caring about it. But that's the election year too. And it's I want to say Uranus is also making its transition, its zodiac, not necessarily the constellation transition, but I believe it's making a zodiac transition in 2024 as well, and that's another very big extreme planet. So 2024 is going to be 24 and 26 are going to be two really really big years where we really make that leap into knowing things and things being revealed to us. Like Saturn being in Pisces right now, Pisces is the energy of deception, being manipulated or being the manipulator. And with Saturn being in that space, see, two things are happening right now. First, you see the
Mm-hmm.
ones that are accustomed to being the manipulators, they are dealing with different challenges. You see a lot of these people in the Federal Reserve, in the government, in the Board of Education, and even in local politics. They're
Mm-hmm.
they're scrambling to maintain power. They're coming up with they're being greeted with all these challenges that's causing them to create new infrastructures. So for some of them are not in alignment with the cosmos and some of them are, so some of them
Mm-hmm.
already knew that this was coming, so they had certain things already played into place, back in 2019 when Uranus first entered Taurus energy. They already knew, oh wait a minute, we gotta you know get ready because Pluto is about to make a move a couple years, so let's make a progressive change with the money because
Mm-hmm.
Taurus rules over money.
Yep.
And Pisces energy rules over the currency. How are you manipulating the currency? So with those two energies, in those spaces, it's a lot of different like progressive changes happening in that realm. Um, and then the other thing that's happening is the people. We're being dealt with a lot of challenges that's causing us to create new boundaries and new infrastructure when it comes to authority, how we look at authority, who is authority in our life. Saturn rules over your root chakra. So some people are playing with their own root chakra and either taking
Mm-hmm.
control of their own root chakra or watching to see what Massa is doing because that's going change their root chakra. You know what I mean? And so it's very interesting to watch because you do see a split. And then you see that as above, so is below, as within, so is without, because you see that split happening physically with the motherland.
Mm-hmm.
That firmament, that Saturn energy is splitting. Seventh
Yeah.
house is the house of like the balance, Maya,
Yeah.
the scales.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the firmament splitting in two, and what's going in between that split? The currency. Now,
Mm-hmm.
who's manipulating the currency? How is the currency going to flow? Who's going to benefit from the currency flowing that way? As we, start to get answers to that, we're going to start to see more answers formulate with what's going on in other people places that are in alignment with these planetary movements. It's very interesting to watch if you're able to pay attention to multiple things at one time. um,
Mm-hmm.
I pay attention to as much as I can, but I really am for like nation building. I'm here for like it's time to bring back like the tribe. That's what I want to come back to. I want to come back to
Mm-hmm.
my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, break with you when I turn these screens off. I don't
Yeah.
really think about nothing that I just watched.
And
I go
but
outside and I'm
one thing,
okay.
but one thing that I see that once the government is gone, we're going back to the old matriarch system. The old matriarch
Mm,
system is pretty much better. It's balanced and it's all dealing with um, tribal like membership throughout the land. You know what I mean? But yeah, I can see it coming together. It's slowly coming together, but it's not gonna take a overnight thing. It's not gonna form itself like real quickly. But this thing gonna take over time because it's a lot of Um, a lot of land separation between like agreements and stuff like that have to come together as one. So
Yes.
I'm gonna put that out there as that. Like this information is gonna be so real to a lot of people. Um, it's gonna blow a lot of people minds that this is actually taking place. You know what I mean? As far as like how these land agreements and the frauds and the reports and like Rod Hayes was saying, he was saying that a lot of these agreements were never signed by chiefs. You know what I'm saying? As far as like giving away land, you just don't give away land.
Mhm.
You know, it's only way you're gonna take land is by force, and that's the only way. But like he said, we've been in wars for a long time, and we still in wars.
Right.
We in war.
Right.
We in war. Yeah, war with the government.
And the planets are definitely shifting to mirror that. Like we had Mars and Gemini for a couple years, and that was when we were speaking, right? We talking to each other all the time. We're talking to our community. This is what we need to do. This is what need to happen. Da da da. Well, a week or so ago, Mars has entered Cancer energy, and it's going to be here. It's going to be there for like another 2 years, a year and a half, whatever. Back and forth with the retrograde, and then back forward. So with
Mm,
that energy, now everything that we was doing with our throat chakra, that warrior like spirit, the new beginnings and stuff we were formulating with our, now it's in our subconscious. Now it's in our third eye. And a lot of people are making the space to open up the third eye to be able to utilize that to maneuver certain things around. So we're going to have, warriors that are able to go back out of their body the way we used to. We won a lot of wars from the comfort of our village, just sitting in the seance around a circle because we had that third eye open to do that. We had that Ogun energy in our third eye to do that. So, we're coming back into that space to be able to do things like that. And then, the seventh house that Saturn is in also deals with bonds and contracts. So you'll see a lot of the bonds and contracts come into play. When I do my astrological reports on YouTube at the end this week, I was kind of like influenced to start putting my historical moments back in there. That was something I was doing once upon a time and I stopped. But coming back into that, this month, historically speaking, we had the Civil War, we had World War I, Ulysses S. Grant giving up, we had the riots occurring after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. It's a lot of warlike
mm-hmm.
energy that's been going on since April 1st, historically speaking. And there's nothing new under the sun. You've seen this thing that happened with the Cash App, owner. Again, pay attention to the waters. That's currency, right? That was a major way how we've been trading currency. Something is going to be shifting with that. And that was so fun. I made a joke. I was like, that was the quickest episode of first 48 I ever seen. Because literally the very next day you see the post for Fed Now or whatever. So it's just like you guys y'all don't even care no more.
Mm-hmm.
There's no proof to it. But that was the same energy that we got when the Titanic sunk. And
Mm-hmm.
and that was another currency even. The currency was controlled then too. There were some individuals on the Titanic that were against the Federal Reserve, establishing itself. And as soon as the Titanic sank, like a day or two later now, we're finding things into play. Also, this week, historically speaking, was when the Executive Order 1607, 1601, one of them, but the whole goal of it was it was the government taking back all the gold bullion, all the gold
Mm-hmm.
coins, discontinuing the making of gold coins and stuff. That we're also in the anniversary of that, ironically, this week that just
Mm-hmm.
passed. So, it's really nothing new under the sun. If you pay attention to the patterns of the cosmos and the pattern of history, it'll help you prepare yourself for what you need to be prepared for. I don't tell people to buy silver or gold. I think that it is a good idea, but I can't eat that shit. I can't
Yeah.
I can't build my house with it. It don't put no clothes on my back. And it actually puts
Mm-hmm.
a target on your back to be walking around with all that heavy metal on you. So, I
So
tell people buy land. buy livestock, invest in water, different
It's
things
gonna be
like
real
that.
hectic. Hmm. As far as like
I think that,
the Fed, the Fed system has the drawbacks on the Fed now. Want to start that at July the 5th. I seen it like it was they just advertise a lot of that, like we're gonna go digital July the 5th. You know what I mean? The Fed now, and it's amazing that a lot of these crypto these owners and stuff are just turning up left and right. You know what I mean? And the Fed now is going to be introducing about another couple more weeks to a month, something like that. But I know it's coming up, but everything's going to go digital like July the 5th. But I just want to see how this going to play out because the dollar itself is pretty much dead, and a lot of
yeah,
countries is turning their backs on us right now. As far as like Kenya and stuff like that, you can see it like um all the dirt that the government pulled on a lot of these um different countries and stuff, and they know it's a lot of stuff that being swept under the rug, and pretty much it's there. And they,
mm,
people don't forget. People don't forget how you treat them.
mm-mm. People don't go. We read a that's a Bible story. It was wasn't Abraham trying to walk through the land with his wife, and they did all this
Hmm.
nonsense, and when they tried to go back through the land, then the land was punished with locusts and stuff. So the guy, had to hurry up and get rid of his wife and stuff, try to get her off the land and stuff because the land became cursed. Yeah, people don't forget that
Yeah.
stuff. It always comes back to you, and that's another Saturn in that seventh house. They're trying to build. They're being greeted with these challenges to their authority. America has always walked around with this certain level of ego, and they mistreated a lot of people. They misrepresented a lot of people. All these different things, and so yeah, it's happening. See, I don't have a habit of saying us because ain't no us, baby. I ain't a part of that. That's right, wrong, or indifferent. They on a whole
Hmm.
different chessboard. They not on my chessboard. I'm not even interested in being a pawn or a casualty on their board. That's why I'm telling people, y'all can invest y'all time and y'all mindset and y'all energy into that, but that's not gonna feed you. That's not gonna put clothes on your back, and it's not gonna protect you. So you have to be, you have to think like a sovereign being. You got to think like, what do I need for? It don't matter what y'all doing over there. What do I got to do over here for me and mine? You got to unite. You got to unite with your neighbors, with your community. If you don't trust the neighbors you live around, then you need to learn how to move somewhere amongst people that you can trust. You got to invest in food, invest in land, and learn how to clean water, learn how to harvest
Uh-huh.
energy from the land and vegetation, get some
And yeah,
livestock. Like that's the best thing for you to do at this moment.
yeah.
That was always the best thing for you to do, but it's definitely the best thing for you to do right now.
Start your own family bank too as well. Start
Yes.
your own family bank because the family bank gonna be there for you anyway. Once them inheritance, once them inheritance come unravel, um, then we'll see some more motion as far as like the pickup in the gold around the country and stuff like that. But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people just saying like, "Oh, we're gonna be broke." They fearing that they need the government so much. They need them. Um,
Exactly.
you really don't need a system like that that's going to be put in place to just going to put you back to push everybody back to point A again. You know what I mean? Because the
Mm-hmm.
system was
Anything, this is an
designed.
opportunity.
Hmm.
It's an opportunity because we not broke. The government broke. The government is
Yeah, the government.
losing its
Yeah,
power.
we're not
We
broke.
didn't lose our
I do know
power. The
that.
government
Yeah.
did. So we have to change the way we're perceiving this thing. They're creating that whole new, currency not to control us. Did you remember?
So
You remember how last year we lost those trillions of dollars and they was over here stuttering on the microphones? It's just gonna
yeah,
make it easier for them to do shit like that. That don't got nothing to do with us. That's it.
but check this out too. They said California was coming with reparations, right? The
Mm-hmm.
reparations of $5 million per citizen, right? This is what Rod Hayes was saying. $5 million ain't nothing compared to your inheritance account because your inheritance make that look like chump change.
Yep.
if you do the math, you'll understand how much money you're entitled to have. I mean, because man, just the wealth behind us can build kingdoms. It could build
We've
kingdoms
invented
on our
many
land.
things.
Yeah,
We have many
yeah.
patents in our lineage. We have many titles to
Everybody.
land. Yes, and that's where those contracts and bonds from the seventh house is coming from. You know,
Hmm.
those patents, those titles, you know, those are all coming back out to the forefront as people start to get more in tune with their lineage, their ancestors, where they
Hmm.
came from and stuff like that. You know, ancestry.com is a beautiful thing. I keep talking about that because my mom just did the whole thing, and you know, she done brought her one side of her family back to like the 1700s and seeing like, oh, it was land here. You know, same thing on my dad's side of the family, like, oh, it was, you know, land here. We gotta go find that land, whatever, whatever, and go back even further than that. So these things are coming out. These things are
Hmm.
coming out. You got it, but they're not. A few
They had
people are waiting.
investigation on that too.
They had a
They
what?
had a they had investigation on that too, because the
Yeah.
people, it was somebody that worked in that company was actually giving people different false information about
Mm.
they bloodline and a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna pull that article up once I find it though.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I want to hear about that.
Yeah, so
It,
I'm assuming they're gonna correct
it,
it. Yeah, I'm assuming they're gonna correct it though, as far as like the information out there that people been trying to find out they real bloodline DNA ancestral.com and stuff like that. As far as like your DNA, it goes a long ways and it travels a lot of history back though through a lot of different events and different family members linked to that tree. So your lineage is really deep in the roots itself.
Yeah. I kind of wish that like our documentation of our tribal area, like, because it seems like it only starts at colonialism. You know, it
Hmm.
makes it seem like colonialism is the start of our history, and that's not true. You know, it's just a part of it. It's a blip in it, and it's really not as big a part when you think about how long our lineage is. You know, the colonialist part is really not that big. It's only like, you know, the women in my family lived to be 100 years. So maybe 4 women in my family is the colonist lineage. So like
Yeah, let me turn it. My system TV just jumped. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead.
but yeah, it's not really a lot. And you know, I would love for there to be something where like we would take those kind of tests and it would take us all the way back to like what tribe we're from, because the nations don't really, you know, give us that due justice. Because you know, when these people came on the land, they automatically started separating us by shade of our skin, you know, to make sure that people of dark hue did not realize that they were indigenous to this land, you know. And so then they started doing the state borders and the nation borders and da da da. So they're not really our borders. So you could say, oh, I'm from Congo, but like, what is that in comparison
Hmm.
to the tribe, you know?
Yeah.
So like I would love to see something go a little deeper. I highly doubt we'll have that because of the individuals we allow to control over that information still. At least not anytime soon, you know. But
Hmm.
this kind of energy, like you said, we're going to be in this for a little bit. You know, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for like the next like 18 years or so. So we're going to have
Hmm.
that transformation energy happening, and that energy of revolutionary energy. You know, the last time Pluto was in this space was during the Revolutionary War. You know, the times before that was during, you know, the war with the Moors and taking over the land from the Moors, and converting into the Gregorian calendar, and then the different invasions we had during BC times. You know, all of those were during times where Pluto initially entered Aquarius. So you know, now we have this financial war happening. Now we have this virtual war happening. You know, these different social media platforms on standing trial
Hmm.
right now. They're going through their Saturn in seventh house right now. That the Twitter one is my favorite though. I like Twitter. I like the Twitter one way better than the TikTok one because it's really coming out all the censorship they were doing about the
Mm-hmm.
shot and stuff like that. And it's like, it's so refreshing to see. This is a beautiful
Yeah.
time.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Yeah.
very beautiful time.
It's a lot of stuff. It's just unraveled. It's like it's the list is so it's like a Santa Claus list. It's so deep, but
Yes,
there's like so much stuff going on, so much chaos, energy, so much financial problems, so much like people dying left and right. Then you got people just depressed and all this energy, just like you feel me? Like it's this energy is so it's just moving. It's fluctuating everything. It's fluctuating food prices, fluctuate
yes,
gas. I could just imagine what 2024 gonna bring. So you gotta be ready for these things when it come. You know what I mean? Because other than that, I mean, you have to. It's survival right now. It's
it
survival, and
is.
also you gotta stay in balance. You have to stay in balance because everything happened for a reason to exercise the balance so it can stabilize the balance within the Libra scale because once the chaos happen more like this it's going to lean off where it's going to be balanced in love, you know what I mean?
Mhm. I agree. I
So
agree. When a storm first starts, you hear that hard thunder,
mhm.
and it
Yeah.
and the storm comes real hard, but then after a while, it turns into a light rain, and that's
Hmm.
essentially what's happening right now. We're
Hmm.
in the initial stage of the storm, so it's going to feel crazy. And if you are not self empowered, you're going to get pushed which way, which other. If it's not the
Hmm.
government, it's these sovereign people that are. I always say they're very irresponsible, but they try to sell their education packages, or oh, this is the doomsday package. Hurry up and get it, or you're going to be left out, or you're going to die. Like, don't do that to people. That's very irresponsible. You got to understand or understand the psyche of someone who's not a sovereign being, and they're still looking for a leader, and you're not being a responsible leader. You got to understand you're a leader
Hmm.
to some of these people. You're not just a salesperson, and this is not just a business. And that's a part of the responsibility of being a leader. You have to be understanding of the different psyche levels that different people are on. It's a responsibility to be on these kind of platforms, especially right now where people are looking for answers. They are looking for guidance. And a lot of people are already coming in with a frantic state of mind. So if you're going to give them issues, give them a solution, and give them a solution that they can digest. You giving them, oh, well, you got to invest in Bitcoin, then buy some gold and some silver, and you need like $5,000 for you to have the amount that you need. And da, 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 da. Like, bro, who has that today? Like,
Yeah.
come on, you're putting people in a more
Hmm.
frantic state because now they feel like they're not good enough to be
Hmm.
sovereign. They're not good enough to stand on their own 2 feet. So then they're just going to go back to the government. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And they're going to wait to see what they're going to do for them. So
Hmm.
we have a big responsibility here to really utilize that Mars that's in Cancer for those people that are leaders, because that's what Mars is. Mars is a warrior leader. That's the new beginning. That's the cardinal energy. That's the one. You know what I mean? So for that to be in the third eye, certain people, that's going to ignite something in them. Especially for people who have Mars in a water placement. You're definitely going to feel this energy in your third eye. Like, I have to do something. Something has to be done. I'm here to do
Yeah, I
that. And
just
for
seen that. I
yeah.
just seen that. Yeah, about what you were saying about the Mars energy and stuff like that. Um, the Mars, the four planets that's lining up tomorrow to bring in another boost of energy throughout the U.S. and stuff like that around the world.
We got I know Aries has a nice little lineup
Yeah,
of and those planets have been lining up quite often. You got Jupiter, you have Chiron, you have the sun, of course, and Vesta, and there's a couple other ones. And they're in the Aries zodiac, which is like
yeah,
your mindset. And they're in
yeah,
the Pisces constellation still. So, they're in that fire and water at the same time. So with
yeah.
them, and they're all in the eighth house of transformation. So that alignment is definitely, watch the currencies on that one too. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, I see it right there. What you talking about right there about the
Hmm.
planets lining up and stuff like that. What they was talking about, that's tomorrow right there. That's alignment tomorrow with the April 11th, with the Mercury, Uranus, Venus, and Mars will line up with the small 35-degree across the sky. Um, yes, that starts tomorrow. Actually, they probably lining up as we speak right now.
And it starts on the 411. 411 is
Hmm.
the day. That's the
And in
number.
April one,
That's the
yeah.
day we got a channel. That's the telephone line right there happening for y'all, especially my spellcasters. Whenever y'all see planets line up like that, that's the telephone line. That's when you
Oh
do
yeah.
make your communications and your invocations when you see a straight line like that. So yeah, they're definitely lined up like that right now too. And Venus is in its home space right now on
Hmm.
the tropical and on the Vedic chart right now. So you
Hmm.
have Venus crossing over Pleiades, star cluster. You have it crossing over a few different galaxies,
Hmm.
and I think it's tonight. What's today?
Yeah.
10th. It was
I,
technically the 10th. Okay, so tonight or April 10th at 11:44 p.m. At the end of the day, Venus is going to enter the Gemini zodiac. So all day today, you're going to be feeling that last little bit of Venus being in both Taurus constellation and Taurus zodiac before like that communication goes, and then you could start really like materializing, with your throat chakra with Venus being in Gemini,
hmm.
materializing things with the community. Coming back to what I said, it's time to tribal build. I spent
Hmm.
today trying to put the seeds because today is the day of Inanna. That's the day of fertilization, materializing, paying attention to the soil and giving thanks to the soil and the sun for returning to us, and then
Hmm.
trying to manifest how we want our crops to grow. And it's not just the literal agricultural crops, it's also our goals. What are we trying to manifest here with this new earth concept? What are we trying to
Hmm.
manifest spiritually? What are we trying to manifest with this Saturn in seventh house? We got to be very, very intentional here. It's one thing to say,
Hmm.
oh, we want it, we want it, we want it. Well, are you going to work for it? Because if you're not going to
Hmm.
work for it, then you're succumbing to whatever the currency is going to push you.
Hmm. I'll make a note that a lot of things because they starting to raise the prices on like books now as far as like these occult books. Uh, I think people should jump on it. Like far as like yeah, the code books like they going up to 7,000, 30,000, 3 million. I'm like, what's going on? For real. Like they trying to make the knowledge more expensive now. So I mean,
Yes.
for everybody out there, if you really want to, learn like the real like alchemist part of yourself, I'm about to do some real like alchemist videos coming up explaining the alchemist ways of the teachings on how to tap into like different energies within inside of you, because
Mm,
you have the dark, which is the chaos, and you got the light side, which is the light side is pretty much like lenient than the dark, you know what I mean? But they all go to the same path, you know what I mean? But the light side, you can learn like the herbs and herbalists and stuff like that. You can learn how to use candle work and stuff like that. It's a little bit lighter, you know what I mean? But also dealing with psychic protection over yourself and your surroundings, your household, your kids, and stuff like that, because you are your own supreme creator, and a supreme creator could create anything pretty much come to mind. Because for instance, just like a teacher, you can teach your own self how to make your own different magics, forms of magic, because all this stuff is inside of your DNA. And you can tap into this with certain things, certain elements, meditation, stuff like that, different frequency musics, uh, learning how to tap in with Mother Earth, go outside to ground yourself, stuff like that. And the more you start to tap into it, the more it starts to make sense to every aspect in every way of you learning what comes to mind, because it opens up Pandora's box, which is your alchemist. You know what I mean? As far as like your magic, you, because you prime creator. So to tap in. I mean, explain that in certain videos that I'm gonna be posting coming up. You know what I mean? How to light different candles. Different candles represent different things in your household. How to make it calm, how to make it lovable. Um, different colors. Candles can help, just like negativity. Nobody knew a black candle. Everybody thought a black candle was bad, and don't even know it's used for getting rid of negative energy.
Yep.
So definitely, man. We got a lot to learn as people. I mean, we have to wake up. We got a lot to learn. Stop putting the mask on, running out in public, think you're gonna get sick, then go back in the car with the same mask, then go home wearing a mask in your own house. You know what I mean?
For real.
I just I see that. I mean, wow. You feel me? Uh,
I used
it
to say
just
that,
it's
like,
heartbreaking.
if the pandemic was really that bad, how come they didn't have like hazardous trash cans in front of all the establishments? You should have, like, I worked in the healthcare field. When
Mm-hmm.
someone had their stuff, when you walk in the room, you put it all on, but when you walk out, you had to take all that stuff off and throw it in the garbage and wash your
Mm-hmm.
hands again.
Yep,
Why are
that's
we
what
allowed
I'm saying.
to walk around with these from place to place?
Mm-hmm.
There
Mm-hmm.
should be trash cans to place them in. I always thought that that was funny. But
Yeah.
what we got to get into too? We need to remove our children from these schools, because these
Oh yeah.
schools they're training our
It's gonna
children
happen.
to be
Mm-hmm.
okay with certain things that they're implementing early in the game. Like, I remember I pulled my kids out of school when it was always something I wanted to do, but I finally got the courage to do it. Like, oh no, y'all gotta go. But I remember when they were doing the virtual classes online, and I'm sitting on the side listening to them, and they had like this whole like lesson on what the virus was and what it does, and this, that, and that. And I'm listening on the side, like, what is they talking about? Like, that's not even in alignment with how biology works. What are we talking
Mm-hmm.
about? Like, I'm just so triggered. And then I had, after class, I had to have that conversation with my son, and this is my second son. And then it just brought me back to a place with my oldest son. I felt bad because I used to always give him extra homework. He would,
Mm-hmm.
do the school homework stuff, but then he had homework from me too. Like, all right, they taught you all them lies. Now here's the true stuff. And I created
Mm-hmm.
a confusion in him to where he didn't know what to put as answers on certain tests in school and stuff. And and it just come back to the mindset that you can't serve two masters, and we have to stop putting that pressure on our children to serve those two masters. So having the courage to pull your kids out of school, because once upon a time, we was only doing like classroom school setting 1 day a week. It wasn't this Monday through Friday 8 hours a day thing. The Monday through Friday 8 hours a day thing came from the knowledge of how to condition someone. How can I condition you to do what I want you to do? I need you for 12 years. I need you 8 hours. Eight is the number of transformation. 12, you got the 12. You hold on the 12. I think you got your entire being at 12, right? They
Mm-hmm.
got to the point where they started getting our kids even earlier with this pre-K program. Everywhere. Oh my God, Obama gave us the K3 and the K4 Yeah, because they want your kids even younger, because they realize that Aboriginal kids are
Yeah.
physio-motor skills at an even earlier age. So once they got the
Yeah.
science down on that, they were like, oh no, we got to take y'all kids a whole lot earlier. So let us do this, and then y'all feel like y'all got free babysitters while y'all go work y'all 2, 3 jobs or whatever,
Yeah.
and we got your kids. And then it
Mm-hmm.
gets to the point where you can't communicate, the truth to your children anymore, because they're so washed over and they've learned to respect their teachers and principals more than they respect you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But
we
I
have to remove our
see it.
children out of these schools, man. That's the next step.
Yeah. Not only that, but the way these cutbacks gonna work, they already finna cut a lot of schools off the budget. So a lot of schools will be closing real soon.
They're already doing
So
that up here in Jersey.
the
I heard
amount
they were doing that down in the job.
they're closing them down like left and right because they don't have
Yeah,
money to support these teachers no more. The government can't pay for these teachers or different education systems. So what more? They're gonna have to cut that. They're gonna end up cutting the police department. That's gonna be next. Then the military gonna be third. So that's gonna be the last thing they ever cut right there. So I
yeah,
mean,
they left their guns. Now
that's
we can
gonna
do
be a
one
big
of two
cutback.
things. we can get upset and start whining and crying and start begging the government to do stuff, or we can
Oh
look at
no.
that as an opportunity.
Oh no.
Like
That's over with.
now
We
we,
need to leave it alone.
yeah, but you'd be surprised. It's gonna be some people out there
Mhm.
marching saying, "Oh, please, master, don't touch the stove, don't touch the
uh,
police. We
yeah,
need."
yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah.
some people out there doing that, but we gotta stand
Uh-huh.
on our square, create in the schools. We need to start creating our men that are out there now that be outside all day any fucking way. God, they need to come together and create their own fraternity to protect and provide for the neighborhood. Everybody out there should feel safe.
hmm Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is what's going to happen. I mean, we know it's going to happen, but we don't have a timeline for it. So people have to
Right.
prepare themselves for it. I mean, it's only fair because we've been as people misled for a long time, and we've been misled in the wrong direction as far as our history, our roots,
Mm,
our family culture, you know, everything. Everything been taken away from us. And we arguing with these $5 Indians online about something that is ours. And
right.
these Asian looking Indians, I mean, it's crazy. You know what I mean? How can somebody that's of color accept something they not? You know what I mean? And this
Hmm.
the closest thing you're gonna get to an Indian. This right here and this ether in our hair, you got to have this.
Hmm.
You got to have this. You got to have you got to have this. The ether here. You know what I mean? It's not
Right.
corset. It's not straight. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, somebody of a mixed race have straight hair. Their genetics different. Just like you can see it in like animals. They have that like dogs and stuff have that little straight little hair and stuff like that. But see, for
Mhm.
far as us, we have the genetics of the ether. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of misleading information out there and a lot of battle back and forth, but we're not trying to do that right now. So they have to give us what's ours. And we know what is
Yeah.
ours. I want it all. The land,
Well, those
everything.
people were created. They were created and they were indoctrinated as well. And that's a certain level of awareness that we have to have on these people. They made them people, and then they prepped them to take control of certain spaces. So them people don't even know what they not. You know what I'm
The
saying?
Trail of
Some of
Tears.
them do,
Yep. The
but a lot
Trail
of
of
them don't know
Tears.
what they not.
The Trail of Tears has separated a lot of our family. And relocate a lot of different tribes across the world. But the Trails of Tears
Hmm.
is where the mix up happened when they brought in these Mongolians from into these safe resourceful areas. And those areas was the safe place where they was putting these people. And people like to migrate with each other. And that right there pulled the genetics, the real genetics away from each other. Then that's when you start seeing this mix up, and we start seeing different sorts of colors, attributes, and stuff like that. I mean, it's real.
But
I don't even want
that
to.
also that idea of Native Americans having the straight hair and stuff, because even people of mixed, descent now, you can have, say I'm mixed, I'm half, Caucasian, half Aboriginal, and someone else is. Even if we were to have a child, our child would still have curly hair. They wouldn't have that straight hair.
Yeah.
It's like nothing you can do to get rid of that hair. I'm sorry, it's not.
Hmm.
You can have straight or curly hair. You can have loose curly hair, but there's nothing
Yeah.
getting rid of that curl. There's nothing getting rid
Yeah.
of that. That's something
Yeah.
that's embedded. Those are our antennas, and it's always going to be our antennas. That's why I be like, yeah, these people was intentionally made. That whole genetically modifying a baby, that's nothing new. You can go to what do they call those? The fertility clinics, and they'll make a baby for you now and put it in your womb. Like that's happening to
Hmm.
people now. So you know
Hmm.
well, they're finally letting people know what they can do. And I always think of that science fiction film Gattaca with that, where they went to the office, and Gattaca is actually the RNA of a genius. That is the RNA code of a genius. So they would go in there, and that's the code that everybody wanted: Gattaca, Gattaca, Gattaca. And you had some people who had it, some people who didn't, and that's just a repetition of what they done before. Like, this DNA stuff is nothing new. We've been creating humans. We've been creating beings, and splicing agriculture. We taught them how to splice agriculture and stuff like that. When we had a good crop season and all the stuff was juicy and big or whatever, we tried to keep that DNA going. So when there was a famine, John, we know how to splice that joint and make the juicy ones again. Like, we've been doing this stuff. This is nothing new. It's just a matter of, not taking control of it anymore. It's who's in control of it now. And are you
Mm-hmm.
watching to see what they're doing, or are you standing on your square and doing your own stuff? When you too busy watching that somebody else's lawn, your lawn ain't never gonna get watered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, man. Definitely right about that.
And that's really the moral of the whole story, because
100%.
these people don't care about us. How many times do they have to show you they don't care about us? They won't clean our water. They won't update our textbooks. They won't update our electrical systems. They won't fix our roads. Out here in Camden, New Jersey, we still got cobblestone roads out here. They won't fix these things because they don't care about us. So at some point we gotta say, hey, we should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when are we going to get to that point? That feels like the first solution. Like, why don't you do it? Why do you need someone to pay you with this oppressive, ancestral dollar for you to do something that's affecting you and your family? That makes no sense
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Yeah,
Accountability
definitely.
is a big thing that everybody runs away from. I think that's the biggest fear, is accountability and responsibility. Nobody has to be responsible if they're working a 9 to 5, getting a paycheck. Because they could just go to Walmart. They could just, pay PSE&G and turn a blind eye to the fact that PSE&G is intentionally, digging up our ancestors' graves. They can,
Mm-hmm.
invest in all this stuff that's manufactured from warehouses that are intentionally building their buildings in predominantly Aboriginal neighborhoods, and giving those people cancer with their waste. There's
Mm-hmm.
in Tennessee right now. There's some warehouses being built to create electric cars. Could you imagine? Are you serious? Do we really need more cars? You could take the cars that we have now and revamp them.
Yeah.
People in other countries are doing that, but they're taking
Mm-hmm.
these warehouses, and they're purposely building these warehouses on top of Aboriginal farms. Right now in
Yeah.
2023, quote unquote black people are being sued for their land so that the warehouses can build their warehouses on their land. And they're
Mm-hmm.
being paid pennies for acres, like $1,000 for a few acres. In Tennessee, that's wild.
Yeah, that
But these
is,
are the
man.
things I think allow to happen, because we don't want to be responsible. We fear responsibility more than we fear the government.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it boils down to. People fear the
Yeah, man.
unknown.
It's
But
man. Mm-hmm.
Pluto don't
If
care.
it,
Pluto don't care what you care about.
yeah, yeah, people don't. And the thing about people, they buy anything. They buy into anything. You know what I mean? Any little thing, just say to manipulate you a certain way, they're gonna buy into it. You know what I mean? The system been programming people's minds for a long time, so people adapted to it. You know what I mean? So the ones that broke free, you better applaud yourself and congratulate yourself, and just pull away from it. Run, 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 run fast as you can away from the system, because it's not
That's
for you.
that.
Yeah. Definitely, man. I
That's
appreciate you, man, for even coming on here, man.
Thank
I
you for
was trying
having
to get
me.
with you. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want to, we can, you can get with me on like some of the other stuff I got coming up too, like far as like magic nights and stuff like that. I mean,
I would love to. I love being on this platform.
Okay.
I always learn new stuff. I be watching your
Okay.
episodes. I love the brother that be on talking about his demonic side and how he be chilling with
Oh
Lilith
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
I
yeah,
watched the
yeah,
episode
man,
earlier
man, it's
today,
wild. Yeah, it's a journey.
he's
It's
wild.
a journey. Yeah, it's a journey. When I say it's a journey, it's a journey. A lot of people don't know his jobs on the other side though, but I go to everything. You know what I mean? As far as like, I go to the breakdown by everything. You know what I mean? Because the spiritual side is no different from being on this side. But only thing difference is you was already dead before you even came here. A
Right,
lot of people don't.
right.
Mm-hmm.
This
I'm like,
world, this
what you
physical
scared
world
for?
is literally a simulation. This is literally a
Yeah.
simulation of what's going on in the spiritual world. So
Mm-hmm.
you could do both sides. You going but if you're doing what you got to do on this side, you are essentially doing what you got to do on that side too, because the time
Yeah.
and the space is not linear. You know,
Yeah.
this
But
I always love doing this platform. So anytime,
we doing another show about what happened to a real negative person that don't care about himself and don't love himself. Basically,
mm,
the gods and goddesses actually eat that person. They because you don't have no
mm,
care, you don't have no heart. So after that, there's no coming back. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's real. It's real. It is real. So please have some love in your heart. To balance it out because everybody's gonna be judged and Ra he's like the highest supreme God of all the tiers. Um Ra.
mm,
I mean, so I'm still reading a lot of history and stuff like that, as far as like the information and stuff in different books and stuff like that, the tree of life, ancient Egypt, history and stuff like that. I mean, tap into it because soon as you start reading it, you're gonna start having dreams, visual dreams. I mean, I had some of the most wildest dreams. Walking in Egypt, everything blue. Walking up to the pyramids, it activate just by you being there. You know what I mean? And the technology is so crazy. Like, it knows who you are. Just like I was saying about the Merkaba, because the Merkaba is like a ship that ties in you because your body transform into a spiritual ship because energy manipulates itself. Energy
right,
can expand itself. So your body is a ship itself. You can actually go visit any part of the galaxy. You know what I mean? If you want to go see Source, you can go see Source. But you can command yourself to go see that just by concentrating on different teaching that I read out of the book. You could command yourself, say, I want to go visit Source. You say, I want to see Source. I want to see Source for like 5 minutes, or rather it's 10 minutes. And 5 minutes be so long. 10 minutes be so long. You know what I mean? You do that before you go to
mm,
sleep and every night. And then one day out of the week, it's gonna pop up. You're gonna be pulled out your body, literally. Source going or your body gonna line up to whatever frequency is going. So I advise like it's more like you can fast too. Fast would be much better though. Fasting. You can fast in one day and still and get a spiritual dream just like that. You know what I mean? Because I used to do it like randomly, you know what I mean? So I was telling myself one night that I want to see my higher self. So I went to go visit my higher self. And my higher self, I turned to before I even start. I was pulled out of my body. Had an astral um, projection, me coming out of my body, going to a ship, but the ship was actually me. So the ship knew who I was before I even came in. It actually knew who I was. Um, uh, the like the instruments and the mechanical, the geometry, symbols within inside. It actually knew who I was, everything about me. You know what I mean? Everything was so calm and peaceful. And it took me to where I need to go. And it took me to a big old planet that was bigger than Earth. It's very vivid. Um, when I got there, it was a, a big soil, like bigger than like two buildings, like the kind of buildings you see downtown. But it was actually
mm,
It was a building where the guy was sitting on a throne, and it was like me getting out of the ship, and I seen it like my ship landed, and I got out and I looked up to him. He laughed at me, wasn't no talking, but he sent me some energy, and he sent like some, I don't know what it was, but he was like knew who I was, and it's more like he smiled, like, you know what I mean. So I was like to myself, I say that's my higher self. You feel me?
I was about to
And my
say, did
higher
it
self.
feel like you? Okay.
Yeah, because he had the,
Yes.
the long dreads and the sigils on his chest and everything. He was like, it's crazy. But he sent me like some energy, whatever it was, and he sent me on my way, and I came back, and I came back home. But you can actually do this, like for real. You can train your mind to do it. All you gotta do is ask for it, and it shall come to you. You can ask for it. Anything you want, the universe will grant it to you. You know what I mean? You have the power to. You know what I mean? But the subconscious is a beautiful place, though. I mean, you just don't know. So, the more you read about different books and stuff like Egyptian books, you're gonna have
Hmm.
experience like crazy. You're gonna have vivid dreams. Just be careful with your weight sometimes. I mean, not everybody meat eaters, but you can eat. You can be a chicken. What they call that? What a like it
The
was like pro
pescatarian.
vegan pescatarian. Yeah, yeah. You can go
I, I
pescatarian still and have the same visual results.
I've been doing
Same.
Ramadan, honestly, and I'll admit, like the first like week of me fasting, it was like because I'm fasting from weed and I'm fasting from television as well. I really just listen to
I don't even look
podcasts
at
or
television. I don't even look at television.
I'll admit
Hmm.
it. Like when I'm TV is always my background noise. Like I don't have cable, but I will like binge watch something on Hulu or Netflix or something, and it'll be background. I'm a terrible TV watcher, but it will be background noise. So to not have the background noise while I'm cleaning or doing stuff, at first it was different, but it was easy to get used to because I'm terrible at watching TV anyway. But like yeah,
Hmm.
like the first 2 weeks of me fasting, like the downloads was just coming. Always had a message, always had a message. It was like nonstop. It felt like I was floating. But I would like
Hmm.
to be able to learn more to like I want to be able to
How to,
intentionally harness stuff like that. Like that's a
yeah,
realm
yeah,
that
you
I
gotta
really
ask for it. Yeah, you gotta ask for it. You say you gotta command it though. Just like saying I command the water to move. You could do the same thing with dreams. Like to breach different dream states. You know what I mean? Because there's like different astral traveling energies that you can use and techniques you can use as well. Astral projection is just one of the main ones, but you can actually have vivid dreams, dream state visuals. You know what I mean? What it actually look like it is now. It's 3D. You know what I mean? So it take a lot of patience, and you have to command it. You have to say it before you want to go to sleep. I want to see my higher self. Like you just ask your ancestors, say, oh, um, I'm reaching out to my ancestors to um, communicate with you, to understand and see my higher self. And so they'll try to make something happen for you where they just gonna line their energy up to pull you out of your own being and let you see what's going on. And that man, that
right.
energy real. Yeah. We all got different guardians and guides and stuff like that. So definitely. We can get back on elaborate on a lot of stuff later on if you like. I mean, just let me
Absolutely.
know. Just let me know.
If you could take a picture of some of them books and send them to me because I have a knack for finding the free PDF versions or whatever. I definitely want to
Oh
tap
yeah,
into some of
yeah,
the books. And oh, I
yeah.
want to give you so much gratitude. Today was day 2 of me taking that shot, and you sent me. I feel amazing. I feel
Oh yeah,
amazing. I kind of
yeah.
want to just
The
take shots just cause, just in case.
yeah, yeah. That stuff is strong though. Definitely though. Yeah, that stuff is strong. But definitely, we'll get back on a lot of stuff and stuff. Cause I know we both got families and you know what I'm saying. Obligations and stuff. So definitely, man. Thank you for even being on Tribal Country. So
Thank you for
I
having
mean, if
me.
you if even if you want to bring your sister or what I guess you call her your sister or something, she got her own live. I seen you were doing live with her. I forgot her name though.
Yeah.
Like she called herself
Oh,
uh What's
I
her
got two
name?
people I be doing. I got Foxy Roxy on Paranoia Starseed, and
Yeah,
then I got
Foxy Rocks.
Danielle that I
Yeah,
be
yeah,
doing Virgin Talk with.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We.
We'd love
Mhm.
to have you on our platform so you can come on and share some of your knowledge on different things. I would love to
Yeah,
have
I
you
got you.
on.
Yeah, I got y'all. Yeah, I got y'all. Just hey, anytime y'all available, let me know, man. Just let me know, cause
Yeah,
I'm into. I'm actually into heavy.
it's every Saturday at 5:30. So if you have a
Mhm.
Saturday where you open at 5:30, just hit me up and I'll shoot you the link.
Okay, definitely. Okay, so I can elaborate on a lot of things and spiritual work and stuff like that, cause I'm getting heavy into it now.
Okay,
So yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Thank you though. Definitely. This is Tribal Country. And this is Z Energy God, and this is Sunshine Monet, and we out of here. Peace to all the gods and goddess. Yo, yeah.